Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution. It sounds whisper. Poor people gonna rise up, get their share.
236 years ago, the first American Revolution began, and on July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. In that declaration, our founding fathers proclaimed our right to change or alter our government if it no longer served all the people. They said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness." Look at our great nation and see what our government has become. It is not a government for the people. It is a government for the politicians and special interests. We are a nation divided racially, politically, and religiously, wrought with crime and political corruption at all levels. It is our government which has brought us to this place by use of fear, manipulation, taxation, war, and dishonesty. Indeed, it is time for another revolution. Or shall we sit and watch the political elite suck the very life from our nation? Washington and its ruling elite have stolen the power of the people and handed it over to lobbyists and special interests. They have passed laws and loopholes to ensure they retain power, and they spend our money with reckless abandon. Our leaders have stolen our money and pissed it away on pet projects and ridiculous spending. The Social Security Fund does not exist. The ruling elite, both Republicans and Democrats, have for years taken our contributions without the permission of the people. Election after election, we hear the same old promises and tired ideas from the politicians, and we get the same old results when they are elected or re-elected. The ruling elite depend on the ignorant, uninformed, and dependent to get them or keep them in office, and sadly many Americans only worry about what a politician can do for them, not what they will do for our nation. Indeed, it is time for another revolution. It is time we recreate a nation of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is time to take back control of our destiny. But how? Shall we march on Washington and show our displeasure? Has marching on Washington brought sweeping change in the past? No, it has not. Shall we write letters, emails, and make phone calls voicing our distrust? I'm afraid the elite would not listen, for they have too much at stake. Why do you think politicians running for Congress spend millions of dollars to get elected or re-elected for a job that only pays about $150,000 a year? They do it for the power and the prestige. While our veterans lived in horrendous conditions at Walter Reed Hospital, the ruling elite have Ward 7 at Walter Reed, a posh setting that would rival the eccentric palaces of Saddam Hussein. It will take something much more powerful than marches and phone calls. We, the people, do have a powerful tool, but we must wrest it away from the hands of the selfish and uninformed. We still have the power to vote, and we can turn the elitist system on its head if we will use this awesome power with purpose and urgency. In order to restore sanity, honesty, and integrity to Washington, we must organize and with one great voice cry out, "Enough is enough." That voice is our vote. Our vote is our revolution. In November of 2008, all 435 House districts and 33 Senate seats will feature an election. Do we want to place our trust in pure chance as to who will be elected to take us forward? Do we want to continue to pay absurd prices for gasoline and diesel while we sit on billions of barrels of oil, refusing to drill for it because of special interests and lobbyists? Do we want to watch our paychecks dwindle more as healthcare and insurance prices cripple our way of life? I am sick and tired of the pandering politicians and their hollow promises. I am outraged by our gluttonous, bloated government that continues to spin us into oblivion. Indeed, it is time for a revolution. Will you join me and clean up the mess we have made? How can we send a loud and crystal clear message to the ruling elite in Washington? How can we revolt without bloodshed and danger? It is our vote. It is that simple. On November the 4th, 2008, we must turn every incumbent in the House and Senate who is up for re-election out on their ear. Send them home for good. Believe me, if over 400 politicians lose their job, someone will sit up and take notice, and the newly elected will know and respect the power of the people. Right now, you are taken for granted. Your vote has little meaning because we as a people are divided. If we organize, get the word out, and use our vote as a weapon, change will come at last. For we will demand that our new politicians banish the lobbyists and special interests from the halls of the people's houses. Wasteful spending, corruption, and dishonesty in government can be eradicated if we, the people, dedicate ourselves to the cause of positive change by means of our vote. Shall we have a revolution? Or will we let the elite, aided by the media, drive this country into the ground? A change in one politician, namely the president, cannot and will not bring about the change our country desperately needs. Obama, McCain, nor even Ron Paul can save this nation by themselves. It is our Congress who makes the laws that hold us back or help us move ahead. It is time for a revolution. Let's send the politicians back into the private sector so they can live under the laws they created. Let's send the lobbyists a message by taking away the influence they have gained with career politicians. Let's send a message to the politicians we elect that we expect them to work for us, not the special interests. It is time for revolution. It is the right of the people to alter or abolish a corrupt system and to institute new government. Will you join me and take our government back?